Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chase, and today we have day 3 of my Legend League push. As you can see, I did a whole heck of a lot better than yesterday. I ended at plus 157, and I had a 293 on offense. In total, there were 6 triples. I took my own advice, and I did the majority of my attacks under boost, all in one sitting, and that meant my good habits kind of snowballed off of each other, and I kept the triple train going at the end. So for the first replay, it's another one of those semi-teaser style bases with the Clane Castle on the outside. So the main way to take these out is to send your queen in from either the 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock side, and then funnel her in so that she gets the Eagle Artillery, and then at least one scatter shot. I chose the 9 o'clock side because the scatter shot was reachable from outside the walls, so just in case my queen walked, she would still get value. Now I just break my queen in with the wall breakers, and she gets the scatter no problem whatsoever. Now I just have to wait for her to take down the Inferno because I want to freeze it, and then we should be good to go to start the hybrid. Now, thanks to the sweepers next to the town hall, my hybrid will actually target the town hall. If those sweepers weren't there, they might have went around. But right here, I think that rage wasn't really necessary. I probably could have waited on the rage, but either way, the queen gets through the Inferno, and now I can start my siege barracks and king. I sent in the Headhunter to help deal some damage to the enemy heroes. And now here comes the hybrid, and I can heal early because of the bomb tower. And then I end up freezing the town hall and scatter shot as well, which is pretty epic value. And then right here, I was late with my warden ability. I didn't realize he was jumping back over the wall to go on the outside. If I had wardened a little bit earlier, I would have got those miners in the warden. But my queen actually went down, and the healers transferred to those miners and actually kept them alive, which was pretty lucky on my part. And now I still have a ton of miners left, and my Royal Champion with ability, so this base is done for. So yeah, anytime you find a base like this, similar to this style, you can kind of do the same thing, where you queen charge either from 9 or 3, and then you just hybrid right through the town hall with a warden to cover them. And that should be enough to take out any base similar to this design. So I decided one thing I needed to improve on for the next attack is spell placement and timing. So let's see how that comes into play on this replay. For this one, I wanted to charge into the bottom, so around the 6 o'clock corner, because I noticed my queen can actually reach the Eagle Artillery. And then she can actually get a scatter shot and all 3 enemy heroes and the Clane Castle from this compartment. So that's a ton of value, and I decided to take advantage of it. I sent a test wall breaker, and then the rest of my wall breakers, and sure enough there was a bomb there, so I'm glad I did that test wall breaker. But then all I have to do is freeze the single target Inferno, rage up my queen, and we're looking good so far. It's not too much damage, so I can be a little bit patient on my next rage, which is something that I was cognizant of this time around. And then since the Expo starts targeting my queen, I can rage up now. And for the perfect poison, if you place the poison about 1 tile or half a tile behind your queen, you can actually get every single lava pup when the Lava Hound pops. And now I can just start my hybrid through the town hall. Queen deals with the enemy king, and my king and siege barracks are doing work on the outside, clearing a ton of buildings. They actually go inside the base, which helps taking down the town hall faster. But I have so many troops nearing the town hall that the town hall goes down no problem. Goes down super quick. And then I have the hogs from the siege barracks on the outside cleaning up the defenses there, so that my hogs on the inside stay in the base. And then the last heal goes down. I was a bit patient on that, which is nice. And my royal champion was being targeted by the single inferno, so I pop ability early, which I didn't do on my last day. I think it was day 1. And then my queen took care of the bottom, no problem. And I have a ton of miners, a bunch of wizards, and my P.E.K.K.A. is still alive. So cleanup was nice and quick. So that raid, I think I did a lot better on spell placement and spell timing, which was a huge plus and the main reason why I got so many triples this time around. And now the final replay is a ring base. This was like one of the first ring bases I found during my Legend League push. And I have faced a base very similar to this before, so I knew how to take it out. And wall breaking is super easy on these bases. You just need 3 wall breakers and you can get it done. Queen takes out the eagle. She can actually reach the eagle from outside the walls, which is a very big mistake on the base builder's part. So for these types of bases, there are generally 2 ways to take them down. Normally, what you can do is break 2 sides of the ring. So you'd send your queen charge from 9 all the way down to 6, and then you'd send your king and siege barracks from 12 all the way down to 3. And then where the eagle was, you would send in your hybrid and they'd go straight to the core, because there's no other place to go if your king and siege take out the 12 to 3 section. The other way is to just hybrid around the ring and then send a blimp to the town hall. This is way riskier, and I'm not sure why I did it in this case, but it ended up working out because those skeletons pulled my troops into the core. And now I can just freeze up the town hall and scatters, and then my troops take care of the town hall. They basically steamroll everything under Warden. My queen actually dies here because I neglected her, but the healers switch off and get the miners topped off. And then my royal champion dies here, but I have enough miners to get the job done. It's a little bit sketchy at the end, but there were enough miners to get it done. So for this base, I think I needed a little bit of a better plan. I think the option 1 of the 2 ways that I talked about would have been a lot better for this base. That's just a matter of practicing the base and finding someone who can friendly challenge with me over and over again until I get it right. So after this replay, I have one more replay to share with you. This will be a little bit longer of a video, but I promise you the last one will be worth it. It is a very common Legend League base, or as far as I've seen, it's pretty common. I have practiced this one, so I do know how to triple it. So generally, how I beat this base is queen charge the town hall, because there are only 2 expos guarding it, instead of all 4. So the queen is taking a little bit less damage. It's still kind of risky, but you just have to rage early. In this one I did not rage early, and my queen ability actually did pop. So that was a bit of a fail on my part. It still goes well, because the plan is solid. And all I do is lure out the clan castle with the wall breakers, so that the queen takes the clan castle fairly easy and away from all the defenses. And then I use a couple sneaky goblins to take care of the storages. And then that'll funnel her straight into the scatter shots, which is the main thing I want. I freeze early just in case, because I lost my queen ability now, so I don't want anything to happen to her. So I freeze again. I should have froze the other scatter and expo, just because they were farther away and the queen was going to take out the other scatter. So now I send in my king to gut out that section of the base, my siege barracks on top. I probably should have placed my siege barracks a little bit earlier so that it took care of the outside trash, because as you'll see, some of the miners do escape the base. But there's not as many defenses in the core, or high damage defenses I should say. So my miners and hogs have no trouble steamrolling all of that. And then under Warden, everything is just crushing through. The hogs from the siege barracks actually go to the expo that my queen mixed, so that's pretty good. And now the queen finally went down, and the healers transfer. This base is done. So yeah, if you come across this base, this is a pretty easy strategy you can use against it. I've seen people take it out with Zap Lalo also, because you can zap both Scatter Shot and the Clan Castle in one. And yeah, this base is toast. I have a lot of cleanup troops left. So that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for day 4 of my Legend League push.